So this weekend's results were wild, right?
Absolutely insane. Yeah.
You okay?
I'm fine.
You sure? Oh my god, she's crying.
I'm okay, and I'm okay because I'm okay because if I say this, I'm admitting to what I. You know what? Screw it. Here we go. Yes, I'm okay because Man U lost, which was very upsetting for me personally. Because I'm owning it, Ellen. I can't. I have to own it at this point.
What are we on? Was this episode 5? 5 weeks.
I think
4
this
weeks.
is
Whatever it is, it's taken us a few weeks, but we're finally at the admitting stage. This is one of the main stages of acceptance, so I'm really, really proud of you.
I'm really close to it. I'm not going to be, really loud about it yet. I'm just in the process of accepting it at this moment. But I'm a Manchester United fan.
I feel sick.
For the women's side only, I will say. But yeah, so Manchester United, that was a absolutely wild result, and I was very worried about where they would end up falling in the table. And then I watched the Chelsea game,
which is what is going to be our game of the week, which we'll get onto in a minute. Just want to put this out there before we move on. We are still looking for people to come on board at the Women's Soccer Show. Head over to at the WOSO Show on our social media platform, mainly Twitter, I think, is where we've kind of promoted it, and fill in a form. There is actually a paid position that we are looking to fill, which is to edit the show. So if you are a keen editor and want to make a few extra bucks, then I said bucks to make you feel welcome, Sarah.
Oh, thank you.
No worries.
I thought it was a quib.
A quib. So please do reach out, but there are also opportunities for presenting and all sorts. And do check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/The WOSO Show. Thank you to all of our new followers this week. We are going to be putting out some awesome content this week for you. So let's get into the games. Chelsea versus Brighton is going to be our game of the week. It was super difficult to make this decision, wasn't it, Sarah?
It really was. We could have highlighted any game this week, to be honest. Literally any game we could have. And I think any other weekend, if any of these games had happened, I'm not saying this well. It's because all of the blood is in my stomach as I digest my lunch.
I cannot wait for the rest of this episode to happen.
Let's try that again. If any of these games had happened, like another, you know what, just forget it. Really not a good point.
No, I hear what you're saying. I completely agree. It is kind of gutting because there have been a couple of weeks where it's been like a 2-0 to Chelsea, 1-0 to Man City, and then this week we've had crackers all over the shop and a Manchester City versus Arsenal, which is a clash of the Titans. So we're going to do a Patreon special where we're going to cover those games briefly as a bit of extra content, but we'll dive straight in to the 2-1 win to Brighton. I cannot even believe those words are leaving my mouth. So before we get into the game, what do you think this result does to Chelsea's title chances, just ignoring the other results for the moment? Do you think this is mentally a blow for Chelsea, or do you think that they will take this, grind their teeth and like push on even harder?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I think that it's just a little blip on the radar for Chelsea. I don't think it has larger implications in any way. I think that first of all, they're going to come back better and stronger next game. So I'm sorry, basically, to whoever plays them next, because I really do think that they're going to take that as a personal slight and really come back with a vengeance.
I think what this does do, which the WSL really needs, is it hots up that title race massively. I think Chelsea, that I know that I'm stating the obvious here, but they just need to win their remaining games. They've got 10th of February Arsenal, and then they still have Everton, Manchester City and Reading this season. So, like, I think it's far from over. And the big game for me, and I did say it online, winding up a Manchester United fan, the big game for me is Manchester City versus Chelsea, which is happening in April, so right towards the end of the season. I think... Don't you shake your head at me.
You're so biased.
Don't you deny it.
You're only saying that's a big game because it's City.
My girl Abby has arrived and everything's going to be okay
come
now.
On.
So
your girl as of 2 weeks ago.
My fave girl.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
Manchester.
Look out, Lucy Bronze. You've got some competition.
Okay, let's jump into the Chelsea game. For me, within seconds, I thought this is just going to be one of those days for Brighton that they're just going to get absolutely demolished, because it must have been 30, 40 seconds. The ball deflects off Beth England, who's closed play down, and it just awkwardly bounced into her path. But luckily for Brighton, Megan Walsh, she rectified that initial error that she should have cleared it, really. She rectified that by making an amazing save on a Sam Kerr shot. Far post as well. She gets back into position so quickly after her error, and she manages to make that save. You just think, different game if they score then, and then in the 5th minute of the game, if you concede from the champions within 5 minutes, it takes a special kind of resilience to come back. It takes an even more special kind of resilience to turn that around. And I wanted to go back and just mention what you said in that Birmingham versus Manchester United game a few weeks ago about the defensive quality that Birmingham City presented. This is what we were expecting Brighton to do. We were expecting them to like try and shut up shop for as many minutes as humanly possible to grab a point, and then maybe if they were lucky to grab 3. But I just don't think that they did that. Do you? I just don't think that was their game plan.
No, I don't think it was. Their game plan was not a counterattack. It was definitely structured around defense. If you look at their backline and their midfield, so how they were playing on defense was essentially dropping everybody back except for one striker up top, and the backline and the midfield line were so tight together, and anytime the ball moved from, for example, the middle of the field to the outside of the field, you could see the triangles and the pressure cover balance that Brighton was creating off of the ball to really shut down any kind of splits or through balls that Chelsea could create off of. So I do think that their tactics were defensively centered, but they absolutely did not come into this game saying, let's just play defense and hope for a goal. They knew what their strategy was defensively, and they knew what their strategy was offensively. And I think you hit the nail on the head that once they conceded, it took a special kind of resiliency to not just put their heads down. And then once they scored that first goal, all bets were off.
Chelsea are ruthless, and in terms of their ability to like chew onto something and then just not let go. And for me, their chewing on was Letizia, that they put Letizia at right back, which isn't her natural position. She's more of a centre back, and they kept trying to play down that left hand channel to intimidate her, but also that they were doing like overlaps in that area. But actually she handled it really well, and she didn't lose her head at all. And then so you've conceded after 5 minutes, bit stupid, set piece, and then it was only 3 minutes later that Brighton come back into the game. And as you say, at that point, you really didn't know which way it was going to go. It was so lazy from Chelsea, that corner. Like nobody, essentially, it wasn't even anything special. Tossed the ball into the box and Eileen Whelan just jumped the highest. That was it. There was no like...
Yeah, it looked like she just beat Beth England to the spot, and then she beat her in the air.
Kind of disagree with you on the defensive side of things. So defensively, I don't think Brighton were electric yesterday. I wouldn't say that they were, you know, it was an absolute masterpiece, but I think they had a little bit of lady luck on their side. Chelsea hit the post twice, so I do think they had a bit of lady luck on their side, and the defensive line was sometimes a little bit out at sea, especially in that first half with that overlap down that left-hand side. But I really, really, really think they took Chelsea by surprise by how willing they were to get up the pitch and go for it. The second goal, the thing that they earned that corner from, there was 5 players in the box for that moment that they earned the corner, which got them the goal. 5 players, half the team were in that box when the ball was crossed in and Lee took a shot from outside the area. They had players up the pitch. Like,
on that goal, they really did the right thing where they just created enough chaos for it to be really difficult for, number one, for Chelsea to defend, but also for Telford to even get to the spot that she needed to get to defend that goal. Absolutely. They were pushing the ball. By no means were they just sitting back defensively and, you know, trying to counter like we were just saying. You watch highlights of the game or you watch the full game, and they were stringing passes together. They were finding triangles through balls. And they looked like a fantastic team when they were in control of the ball against Chelsea. They did not have the ball the majority of the time, but when they did, it was not just counterattacks. I will say, not to go back to the defensive thing, but quickly to go back to their defense. I think you do need a little bit of luck when you're playing a team like Chelsea. I don't think that says that their defense wasn't tight and well structured. I think that it just says Chelsea, you look at their starting lineup and they've got Sam Kerr, Beth England, and then they put their subs on partway through the second half, and all of a sudden Fran Kirby's coming on as some firepower. Peniel Harder's coming in.
Yeah.
And they threw everything they had. Literally everything they had at Brighton. Emma Hayes was not holding back. There was a moment of the game where she said, no, we're winning.
Yeah.
She made those substitutions, and guess what? Brighton still held up. So massive props to them and how tight they were defensively. Chelsea was going to get their opportunities. Whichever side you were rooting for, luck fell a certain way. They did hit the post, but very much credit to Brighton and how tight they stayed, and a little luck did help.
To cement that, Chelsea had, I think, 30 shots, and only 1/5 of them were on target. So we're talking about some of the most clinical forwards in women's football in the world, no doubt, like Peniel Harder, Fran Kirby, Beth England, Sam Kerr, some of the best forwards in the world, no doubt. And they had 1/5 of their shots on target. And that's not luck. That isn't luck. I mean, hitting the bar is bad luck, and hitting it twice in a game is bad luck. But having 1/5 of your shots on target as the best team, or one of the best teams in the world at the moment, that's a decent defense. So I will take it back. I think it was Brighton's day, mixed with the fact that they really worked together as a unit. One thing I would go back to that second goal. You obviously mentioned Carly Telford and how she was kind of crowded out, is the way you put it. Do you think she should have saved that?
I think that on another day she probably would have. I think it's really hard to say you could have, should have. And to be totally honest, I don't think I got a good enough view of the goal to be able to really see what happened. What I could see is that there was commotion and chaos, and sometimes on a corner kick, that's all you really need to create on a dangerous ball across the middle. So on another day, she probably would have.
Chelsea were actually looking for their 19th successive win at the weekend in all competitions, and Brighton have lost 8 out of 14 games this season. So I do not want to underestimate the absolute magnitude of this win for Brighton. I just want to talk really briefly about that second goal celebration. So to make it 2-1, it was so nice, wasn't it?
It was really heartwarming, to be honest. It was really fun. Yeah.
The noise, it's like they just absolutely wanted it more than anything, and it meant the absolute world to them. It was like cup final kind of celebration. It was awesome.
It really was. And when the game ended as well, they knew that they had it in their grasp the whole time, and they held out. It was really nice to see. And on that note, we say this more and more every week. I think that this is just an indication of the fact that the table is getting more competitive.
Player of the match, I don't think there's an individual that I could pull out, to be honest. Few names I want to mention. Megan Connolly for scoring a goal from a corner against the champions. She deserves a mention. And there were 3 players that her football hub pulled out, which were Emma Corvisto, Megan Connolly, who I've just mentioned, and Eileen Whelan, as 3 players in the team, in their team of the week, which I think is a good shout. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Man United versus Reading. Reading surprisingly, shockingly won 2-0 at Lee Sports Village, so at Manchester United's home ground. The first thing you wanted to mention, you said, please put this in the episode notes, Casey's outfit, so I'll hand over to you.
For the record, I didn't say please put this in the episode notes. I just said a lot of things about how much I loved her outfit, and you were like, you can't shut up about it. Shall we put this in the episode notes?
I loved it. But the one thing that you did say that I think just exemplifies why I've put this in the episode notes, did you contact your friend in the end?
I did.
So, Sarah.
Okay, so I will explain. So first of all, every single weekend, I just love and appreciate Casey Stoney's outfit. And I do feel the need to say that I love and appreciate a lot of things about Casey Stoney. Her style is not number one. Her brilliant football mind is number one. And then a lot of other things fall under that. I just feel the need to say that.
Good.
But I love her outfits. I love her outfits in a lot of different ways. But yeah, so I saw this one and I was like, I need it. I need to wear whatever that is. And
it's like beanie chic, right? Like, she looks like she could be going to a meeting. Like, maybe she owns like a cool warehouse company and she's going to a meeting, and it's like long tailored coat, beanie hat, cool boots, tight skinny jeans vibe. Would that be fair?
So there's a reason this isn't a fashion podcast, and it's because I don't know a lot about fashion.
Oh, that's the only reason I brought you on.
Yeah. I have a friend that's just really into like shopping and putting outfits together, and to be honest, has been trying to help me improve my wardrobe.
Oh my You've come onto this call in a baggy hoodie and you're talking to me about fashion, babe. Are you joking?
This is why my friend is like kind of putting it on me. She's like, you can still be comfortable and not look like total shit. So let me help you.
I like your friend already.
Yeah, so I hope she listens to this. Shout out to her. Anyways, I texted her to say, I literally just took a screenshot of what Manchester United posted on their Instagram. It was like, this look helped me get there. That's all. That's where we're at so far, but she is going to help me get there.
I wish you every luck in the world. Sarah, I'm going to hand this over to you. Which way round would you prefer it? I was going to talk about what went right for Reading, and you were going to talk about what went wrong for Manchester United. Which would make you feel better? What went wrong going first, or what went right going first?
I think let's do the bad first and the good second.
Okay.
So we can end on a high note.
Okay, like it.
So I'll speak to what I think went wrong for Manchester United, and quite frankly, my big takeaway from this game was that there just wasn't the same energy and the same fire that we're used to seeing from Manchester United. We're used to seeing them come out and make a statement and really look like they want to win a game. And they just looked flat-footed. They looked a little defeated and just out of energy and out of desire. Obviously, they were having trouble connecting, and there were other things tactically that the brilliant mind of Casey Stoney will definitely work on.
There wasn't specifically anything to put your finger on. I think it was just want and desire that you see so much of, and that never say die attitude that Manchester United women have. What went right for Reading? Onto the positivity. Basically, I've got two words, what went right for Reading. Grace Maloney. And that's not negativity towards the rest of the team because they played brilliantly on the field as well. But the goalkeeper, Grace Maloney, was unbelievable in goal. So this is what I was saying before about her Football Hub releasing their team of the week. And me going, oh my God, I cannot believe they haven't put... Oh, Grace Maloney, of course, she was absolutely unreal. There's one point where Ella Toon has a pop and it hits the post. And I think that's Grace's only moment of weakness where you see she was a bit flat-footed. Other than that, she makes a point-blank range save, and it's with her leg. It's a kind of De Gea save, excuse the pun because I know it's a Manchester United player, but she takes the ball out of the air with a shot from close range again. She also took Manchester United out of their flow. At the moments when they were really having a go, she was taking her time with goal kicks. She was making sure that she wasn't giving them any opportunity if the ball went out of play for a goal kick, that she wasn't giving them any quick opportunities to get back onto the ball. So she was making sure it went to feet. Her distribution was great. Reading were having a go. This was a really even game. Like, it was even statistically, but this wasn't undeserved. And I love Dan Carter so much, such an icon in English football, for her to score that second goal. And just get in behind the defensive line. It wasn't a moment of genius, again, it is what you just said. It was lacklustre from Manchester United. The ball floats in over the top, and the only people alive to it are the Reading players. So, really disappointing for Manchester United. Reading are the most, I think I saw someone tweet the other day being like, they are the most flip-floppy team. Like, sometimes you'll meet Reading and they're just like this unreal team that are challenging for the top three. And sometimes you meet Reading and you're like, comfortably walking all over them. It'd be nice to see some consistency from this Reading team, but fantastic weekend for them away from home. They would not have been expecting to have such a comfortable win, so fair play to them. Anybody betting on this weekend with those two fixtures, there don't think there'll be a single human being in the whole of the UK that would have bet against Manchester United and Chelsea this weekend. Like, it's so shocking.
But if you're out there and you're listening, please contact us because we'd love to speak to you.
I'd love to share your winnings, babe.
Yeah.
Buy a cocktail for me, will you? Arsenal versus Manchester City, which we expected to be our game of the weekend, right? We expected this to be our game of the weekend. Are Arsenal's title chances over, Sarah?
Yes. To put it bluntly, yes. Their title chances are over.
I'd agree, and I don't think there's too much more to be said about that. I think it's not just about how many points there are off the top; it's about the teams that are above them and will they drop many points in the remaining games. The answer is no. My question for you that's a little bit more complicated: are Arsenal's chances of top 3 over?
I think this is obviously more of an opinion because technically their chances are not over. But my opinion is that yes, their chances of falling in the top 3 are absolutely over. They do have some key head-to-head matchups coming up. They'll play Chelsea head-to-head. They'll play Manchester United head-to-head. They won't see Manchester City head-to-head, so that was a big loss. And because of that, I don't see them coming back into the top 3 to win against both Man U and Chelsea and essentially, win out the rest of their games is what we're looking at. So no, I don't think so.
And now sort of asked myself this question over the last 24 hours and I mean, I've enjoyed pondering this. Can City win the title this year? Yes, 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 they can. 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 Yes, they can.
Helen, the fact that you asked that question. I mean, let me just...
What's crazy is, hear me out for a second, because I realise that this is obviously like Manchester City or whatever, but at the beginning of this season, we were looking at a Manchester City who were like squandering points at the beginning of the season and just couldn't seem to click. But now, Manchester City are the only team in the WSL who have won the last 5 out of 5. They're consistent.
I can't with you right now. This is literally any excuse to talk about Manchester City, Helen. Okay? No. Let me just make this clear. This isn't any excuse to talk about Manchester City because we all know that the title race right now is a top 3
It's
Chelsea,
not.
Man U, Man City, and it's so close points-wise that anybody has a chance at the title right now.
It is not. There's 2 teams that can win this title, and that's Chelsea and Manchester City. Nah. I'm not having it.
That's literally, let's get into it. That is literally, factually incorrect. Like, I have no other way to say it. That's objectively incorrect.
Of course, it's a 3-club race objectively when you look at it, but it's a 2-horse race when you look at remaining fixtures, games played. Will Manchester City or Chelsea drop
How
3
can
more
you
points?
say that when there's a head-to-head Manchester United versus Manchester City coming up? That's a deciding game right there.
Just as an FYI, guys, we're now on the 8th of February. This will be released on the 9th of February. After Manchester City beat Manchester United comfortably on Friday, can we then come back together and just establish the fact that Manchester United are not in the title race?
Deal.
I can't believe you accepted that. I thought you were going to be like, no, it's not over.
Bring it on. I accept that as a challenge. And when you're wrong, I'm going to play that for you to listen to. And then you can respond to it. Okay.
I have a genuine thought about this, and I'm being deadly serious here. I do not think that Chelsea and Manchester City will drop another 3 points this season other than against each other. So I don't think that they will. I think Manchester City...
That's just a fancier way of saying that City's going to beat United. Like, that's all you're saying. It's just a fancy way of saying City's going to beat United.
I literally now, the nerves I have towards Friday night are unbelievable. What makes it even better is that Friday night is going to be your late afternoon, so we can actually both have a mimosa together, darling.
Darling, let's do it.
Darling, I'm so excited. So... let's get into the Arsenal Manchester City game. Manchester City on their charge towards that title, and I'm joking, by the way. Still think Chelsea are going to win the title. Ellen White is for me one of the best finishers in modern women's football. What she
absolutely
offers
agreed.
in the box is unparalleled. She's the FAWSL top scorer, which everybody knows because it's been all over the news. But I wonder how many of those goals that she scored in the FAWSL have been one-touch finishes, because she just loves to take a cross or a pass and just divert the direction of the ball into the back of the net.
She's absolutely brilliant. She's absolutely brilliant. Her conversion rate, I know that's not a statistic, but that's what I think of it as, where her conversion rate is off the charts, like absolutely unreal, unparalleled. And she's just so fun to watch, because she's one of those players that has such a knack for positioning and where she's supposed to be. You don't get that many goals without being in the right place at the right time sometimes. And she just knows the game well enough and knows where to be. And that's why she's so great at those one-touch finishes, because she puts herself in the situation to just have to touch it in. And she's absolutely brilliant.
Thing is with Ellen White, as well as I'm kind of a little bit obsessed with Ellen White. Like, I remember...
We all know that from the photo that got posted of you at a City game with an Ellen White shirt on.
Wind up Helen Day. I'm not having it. Thing is with Ellen White, I remember going to watch England versus Germany, and we lost that game, and it was pretty hideous, to be honest, at Wembley. And Ellen White scored a goal which was probably offside in hindsight, but anyone that hasn't seen that goal, check that goal out, because that's just Ellen White all over. But what you didn't see, if you were watching at home on the TV, is her work rate off the ball and what she offers to the rest of the team in her ability to press. And she does not stop. Like, Phil Neville's obviously spoken about her in an England shirt, just been like, I have to force her to rest, like I have to bring her off the pitch, because she would keep going for 90 minutes, but she can consistently run for 90 minutes and she consistently goes for it for 90 minutes. So pleased to see her get that goal, but also it was the most Ellen White goal ever. It's like she just pops up from nowhere, one touch, bish bash bosh in the back of the net. If you don't mind, I'm going to do a sly bit of promotion for this second goal. So obviously Arsenal come back into the game, but then Lauren Hemp scores with a diving header, and Lauren Hemp has actually donated a jersey to us, signed, and she wants to raise money for a charity that's close to her heart, which is the East Anglia Children's Hospice. If you head over to @WeAreFowdies, that's Fowdies, Foudys, Julie Fowdy, and then head over to that page and you just donate £5 and you could win a signed Lauren Hemp jersey. And Lauren Hemp is the focus of this game. She was so brilliant in this game, and she's really going from strength to strength, right, Sarah?
Absolutely. And that's very cool about the jersey, I just have to say. I want that jersey. Yeah.
So awesome.
I'm going to go donate. This goal was an absolute beauty of a goal, I have to say. Chloe Kelly, in classic Chloe Kelly fashion, takes the ball right to the end line. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous cross into the box. And Lauren Hemp just fully attacks it. I would call it like a slight diving header, because it wasn't fully diving, but essentially a diving header. Just attacks the ball perfectly. It goes right basically to the upper V of the goal. Keeper has no chance. It was an absolute beauty of a goal. Frankly, to cement the game at the very end of the game, and it would have taken a lot for Arsenal to come back with just about 9 minutes left, I believe. So it was a beauty of a goal in a crucial moment, which is not to be overlooked.
Arsenal, I do worry, is Joe Montemero's time coming to an end? Like, is it time for a switch up at Arsenal? Get some new blood in? Am I being harsh? What would you say?
I don't think you're being harsh. I think that question needs to be asked when the investment is what it is and the expectation is what it is, and the results aren't there. I think it's very easy for everybody to look at Arsenal and say something's missing. Something's not there. And to say that could be the coach is a very fair statement.
So to go from a fixture where a coach maybe should exit to a fixture where the coach exited and then went on to manage the opposition team, we're over at West Ham versus Bristol. How good was that segue?
Fantastic.
Oh, it's so strong.
It wasn't even planned, for the record.
I want to speak to Ali again this week, Ali being from Claret and Blue, because obviously West Ham taking on Bristol. The big talking point was the fact that Matt Beard is now standing in as the Bristol manager, and he would be playing West Ham, which was his old team, and Bristol were on a run. Like, they were on a run of drawing and winning games, which is huge for them. I think before Matt came in, they were on 5 points, and now they've won one and they've drawn one. West Ham Bristol came to a 1-1 conclusion. And that was the big talking point. West Ham, for me, is the biggest worry in the WSL now.
Absolutely. I look at this game, and you also have to compound that with last weekend's games.
Yeah.
And there's no denying that Bristol City, I don't know if it was Matt Beard or something else, but somebody lit a fire under them.
Yeah.
And they have just been on the up and up for quite a few games now. And quite oppositely, you look at West Ham, and they have fallen off. They've lost a lot of their key players, and they don't look like a cohesive unit, and they have not been able to hold up defensively or put a concrete attack together in any game.
And earlier this episode, we talked about resilience to come back from, 1-0 to win 2-1. Talk about resilience to have played a season with 13 games and conceded 50 goals and only scored 10, and then still now be turning your season around. Like, take a moment. Like, Bristol City are now in a cup final, as of a few days ago, and they're winning and drawing games that are gaining them points, which might lift them out of the relegation zone. And this is after an appalling season so far. I'm sorry to just be as blunt as possible, but just want to emphasize how amazing it is what they've done. An embarrassing season so far to now be in a position where they actually could win a cup and lift themselves out of this. And you do just think, were West Ham going, right, we'll be fine this season because Bristol are gone, and therefore we'll get a new manager in and we'll shake things up and get rid of two of our key players, one off to Spurs and one off to Everton, which are our biggest competition really, because they're both above us, so they're both teams that we really shouldn't be giving players away to. I wonder if West Ham are kind of sitting there now going, maybe we shouldn't have done what we did. Maybe we should have played out the rest of the season and then start to make big changes within the squad. Are you ready to go around the world? Around the world.
Let's go around the world.
So a big talking point of this weekend is Real Madrid versus Valencia, and Kosovare Asllani, who's my absolute babe. I love her so much.
I'm really excited we get to talk about this, and we'll keep it short, but this is just so happy.
So Asllani scored 3 goals in 3 minutes to win 3-1. So it's not even one of those games where it's like, it was 15-1 and she scored 3. She scored 3 goals in 3 minutes to win 3-1. Oh, by the way, she also scored earlier in the game, but it was judged offside. And in my humble opinion, it wasn't offside. The first goal was a strong, powerful free kick from outside the area. Second was a fight against the centre-back to win the ball off her, wrestle into the box and score the goal. She then chipped the goalkeeper to make it 2-0. And the third...
That was the best one. It was dirty. It was so good.
Dirty. And the third was some back post glory, which is like one of my favourite poaching goals, where you just time your run perfectly, run in, slide the ball into the roof of the net, and someone else has done all the work for you, but you get to accept all the glory. It's a favourite. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the video of the highlights put up on our Twitter page tonight. So they'll be up Tuesday night at around 7 p.m. UK time. I'll get them up there for you. You can all watch Asllani in all her glory. Anything to spread the love on Asllani, and I'm there. Barcelona still sit comfortably at the top of the Primera Divisione. I was doing so well. 3 games in hand, and they're 7 points ahead of second place Levante. So in terms of the rest of the season, I just can't imagine them letting go of that lead. Barcelona are such a class team. I could see them doing really well in the Champions League this season as well.
Over to the Mexican League, so I can continue speaking my Spanish. 6 games in, and there are 3 teams who have still yet to lose a game. It's genuinely tight in this league. Atlas sit at the top. Monterrey, who've dropped 3 points already this season, sit in second. And the Pumas and Toluca have a game in hand and sit in third and fourth, respectively. This is probably one of the closest leagues out there, so highly recommend to check this out.
I want to know, Sarah, is there an NWSL update? Like, what's going on?
We're just trotting along in the off season.
Everything's all right. I was speaking to the lasses yesterday. They're all right.
No real updates from the NWSL other than preseason started recently. It started on February 2nd. All of the preseason rosters are up, but everybody knows that because they listened to the news in 10 minutes yesterday.
Yay! I was going to mention
which
that.
we highlight in the news in 10 minutes because that's news. But other than that, that is the news coming out of the NWSL preseason and is underway. And teams are gearing up for the start of the Challenge Cup, which will be on April 9th, which will then be followed by more of a regular season schedule.
And yeah, on that news segment, I did want to raise it. Because every week we'll be alternating. Is that a word? Alternating? Alternatively-ing?
Alternating.
What? Alternating. Thank you, darling.
You're welcome.
So I loved it. Genuinely, Sarah. I absolutely loved it. But we'd love your feedback, guys. If there's anything that you think should be added every week, like if there's a league that you think we should be covering, or if we're missing some major piece of news, let us know and let us know where we can find that regularly, so we can every week make sure that we keep people as up to date as possible.
Absolutely. Shout us out. This is a news segment for everybody to stay updated. So if there's something that you're missing, chances are other people are missing it too. So let us know. Or if you want to just let us know that you love it, we love to hear that too.
We do love that. Or they can let us know in a 5-star rating on our Apple.
Solid.
Thank you so much for listening this week. Don't forget to go and check out our Patreon. There's some amazing content going up this week. There's been so much going on in the world of women's football that you never know. We might give you an extra treat this week over on Patreon. So that's patreon.com/The Show. I've been Helen.
I've been Sarah.
And we're the Women's Soccer Show. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.